My friend sent me this message yesterday, and I feel very heartbroken for her. It's so infuriating and sad, and I just feel like I need to rant about it. Even though I have made videos about how domestic dogs threaten and kill livestock and other people's pets, I'm going to talk about it a bit more. And these so called animal lovers that really don't give two shits about any animals other than dogs. They call us animal haters when we say we don't like dogs. Even though we're not harming any animals, we're just leaving them alone. We want them to leave us alone. They call us animal haters as though we are evil. And even if you're not, they have no evidence that you're not hurting animals, they will still call you an animal abuser for some reason. Even if you just use your foot to push away a dog that's trying to rub its snot into you, all of a sudden you're an animal abuser. They're mental. But, here's my friend, her chicken that she loved more than any dog, she said. She loved her pet chicken, raised it from the time it was a hatchling, let it free range, and a neighborhood dog ripped it to shreds yesterday. It took 2 hours for her chicken to die. She's horrified. She's traumatized and devastated. And she posted in the community Facebook group about it. And instead of getting support, she is getting no apology from the owner of the dog. And people are actually implying that it was her fault for letting the chicken free range outside. They're expressing surprise that she kept a chicken as a pet, because in their mind, chickens are just food. Who keeps a chicken as a pet? Who loves a chicken? They don't care about chickens. They have no problem at all with slaughtering chickens to feed themselves, to feed their dogs. And so she is looked upon as weird. And, writes to me because, of course, I do understand her rage and her sadness. But I just want to talk about how these so-called animal lovers lack empathy and lack compassion and just don't give a shit about any animals other than dogs. They are not animal lovers. They like to think they are animal lovers, but what they actually are dog worshippers. That's what they are. They worship dogs and they don't care at all about any other animals. These are the same people who bring their kids out for a relaxing afternoon to torture fish. They think it's fun and relaxing to get fishes hooked with painful, to hook them through their faces with hooks, which is very painful for fish, and to yank them and pull them out of their environment where they can't breathe, they're suffocating, and then they throw them back into the water. The majority will die, and they think this is fun. This is a relaxing, fun family activity to do with your kids. They don't give a shit about fish, and they call themselves animal lovers. When I bring my kids out into the forest, we go for a walk or something, let's say we come across some birds or some frogs, a turtle or a snake or whatever, we become quiet. We look at the animal with wonder and with joy. It's always like a real treat to come across a wild animal. Like it's a privilege, we feel. It's a gift. And we will maybe take some pictures of it, but we will maintain our distance. We will not stress the animal. I have taught my kids not to run after animals. I've taught them not to pick up animals because it stresses them out. I know that even frogs don't like to be handled. So we don't handle them. We leave them alone and we respect them. And we marvel at their beauty, at their uniqueness. The animals are so amazing, and we feel that wonder strongly, and we just marvel at it, at these amazing creatures. Compare and contrast that to dog owners who allow their dogs to trample through these ecosystems without a care in the world. These owners don't care what their dogs are up to. The dogs are chasing wildlife. They come across a wild animal, they're going to chase it, harass it, often kill it. They don't give a shit. How many of you have seen this video that surfaced over the weekend? This was in my province. A couple of brain dead dog worshippers that don't give a shit about animals. In fact, I would call them animal haters. I'm actually going to start calling dog lovers animal haters because they are. They don't care about the animals that are tortured and killed to be turned into pet food. They don't give a shit about those animals. They don't give a shit about all of the wildlife that their dogs are harassing and killing. Look at this.
Your dog is like eating a deer. It's like harassing the deer. Hello? 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 Your dogs are eating a deer alive. They're literally eating this poor deer alive. Like, come do something right now.
These dogs enthusiastically, joyfully wagging their tails as they rip this deer apart. They want to kill it. They're happy. They're doing what they love. They are doing what their genetics are telling them to do. These are predators. People want to fool themselves and believe that their dogs are like their children, that they're somehow these sweet, innocent fur babies. They are bloodthirsty predators that want to kill. They love it. When they're doing that, they are in their element. They are doing what nature designed them to do. Actually, what nature designed their ancestors to do. We designed them through thousands of years of selective breeding. We've made them into the mutants that they are, but they still retain those instincts of their wild ancestors, and they have a prey drive, and you can see this. They're happy. They're doing what they love to do. And the owners, where are the owners? They're like freaking a mile away, it seems. Takes them forever to come to their dogs and get them on leashes. These people who let their dogs off leash in fields or forests, parks, do not give a shit about animals. They are animal haters. They are willingly allowing their dogs to harass and kill wildlife and domestic animals. I've made multiple videos about this. It is such a huge problem. Dogs are killing tens of thousands of animals every year. Why is this not talked about? Why are dogs held up as these divine, pure, innocent, loving creatures when they are anything but? They are despicable, bloodthirsty, remorseless predators that love to harass and kill animals and torture them. Everything is upside down. You know how they talk about dog is God spelled backwards? I think about this and I think of just about how dog worshippers have everything backwards. Everything is upside down. Dogs are the most vile, disgusting creatures there are, and they worship them. Why can't you worship a different animal that isn't as despicable and stinking and disgusting as a crotch-sniffing, leg-humping, shit-eating beast that lives to maul and shred animals into pieces? I've been thinking a lot about how when I was younger, when I was a small child, I remember going into my mother's garden and building like these little houses for my little Yoda figurine, action figure, I should say. I would build like little homes for him out of rocks and mud and moss. And I just loved, these little micro worlds. I would marvel at them. It was magical. To this day, I love moss. I have terrariums. I just feel like I love salamanders and these smaller, fragile animals, and their little ecosystems and their little habitats are just so magical to me. And compare that to like a dog owner who just lets their dog trample and destroy. Dogs destroy everything they touch. They trample on it, they bite it, they scratch it, they chew it. They're just destructive. From the time I was young, I wanted to preserve these special little creatures. And it's like dog owners are the opposite of that. They seem to just want to destroy everything, or they just don't care. And they call themselves animal lovers, and they hold themselves up as morally superior to people like me who actually care about fish and amphibians and reptiles and even insects. I mean, it's just incredible. I have another friend who sent me a message this morning. This is a picture of her children at a little pond where they go to feed ducks, and the kids were happily feeding the ducks when all of a sudden the ducks scrambled away, went back into the water, terrified, and shortly thereafter, dogs showed up. Dogs chased them into the water, nearly knocked over her daughter. Dog owners didn't give a shit. No apology was given. They just didn't seem to care. Why do dog owners not care about deer, about ducks, or about any other animals? Why? And how do they get away with calling themselves animal lovers and us animal haters? It is the opposite. It is backwards. They got everything upside down. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Sometimes just need to get things off my chest. I'm so glad to have you all, to know that there are other people out there who see this insanity. It is so infuriating and so heartbreaking. And I'm just glad you are all there. The future is dog-free, and I will see you soon.